Welcome back to Finnegans Farm and welcome back to the YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to talk all solar panels. So as people would have seen in the videos, they're on the top of the sheds, and yeah, we've Pat Smith down. Pat is from Local Power and knows the stuff about solar panels. So we'll across now to Pat and Paul.
So we had a few inquiries there about our solar panels, and we have a man here that has all the knowledge here, Pat Smith from Local Power. Pat, you would have installed the panels here on the roofs, and just to explain, we'll say the cost savings, the different advantages of having solar going forward.
Yeah, Paul, well, firstly, thanks very much for the opportunity.
No problem.
Local Power's in business 7 years, and you're an early adopter to renewable energy, and the support was greatly appreciated. Solar generates electricity from daylight. It generates it in the form of DC, and these inverters behind you now convert it to AC.
Yeah.
And it comes into your business at a slightly higher pressure. So the energy will be used from the solar first, and then when there's surplus energy, it's either the system ramps down if it's an on-export agreement, or it's exported to the grid if you have an export agreement. And when there's not enough energy, it just takes from the grid. Yeah. Solar is very low maintenance technology. It operates in a bell-shaped curve during the year, very much in line with a lot of farm production, and the paybacks on solar PV, generally speaking, are between 3 and 4 years.
Yeah, well, energy prices, as we know, have probably come back a bit in what they were in the last year, and they seem to going to fall a bit further, maybe even. So installation on the solar panels, then, I know the guys came down, the contractors came down, and they put them up very, very quickly. Like, it's a quick fix, isn't it?
Yeah, well, look, at solar PV, the guys are very expert at what they do, and the way we operate, the panels arrive, our roofers come along, they put the panels on the roof, and then our electrical team come along, and you know, at the price we're charging, we can't hang around, you know.
Well, you definitely didn't hang around. And do you have to have a special roof, or do you have to get an engineer's report before you would start to look at?
If you had a concern about the weight of the panels going on the roof, I would ask a client to have a structural survey done. However, roofs like this are very well built, and the weight of panels is not very high, actually. It's about 13 kilograms per square metre. So the weight is not very much, but if I had any concerns on a roof, I would certainly encourage people to get a structural engineering report done. And some people do that for peace of mind, I suppose.
But then, Pat, as regards your carbon footprint, then, this has probably, you know, ran over the last probably year, and just to see what it has saved within.
Yeah, well, solar PV, it's very measurable, the carbon reduction. And for a system that you've put in, I think it's reduced carbon emissions by over 100 tonnes so far.
That's correct.
And equally important, obviously, is the savings. It's saving on your electrical spend by over 50 grand a year. And I know that you have ambitions to increase the system further into the future. So the economics have to work, but the climate economics also has to work. And for a business like your own, that renewable credentials of being a leader in reducing carbon emissions is a positive thing as well.
Very good. We are just the 50 acres of wood behind us there, and we allow the birds to come to roost in the evening time, and the flight pattern is right in line with the solar panels. So we have flown the drone up there, and they're very clean, and they're still very clean, but does that cause a bit of a problem as well?
Yeah, we've majored in Local Power on European warranted technology. The panels you have on the roof is German manufactured SolarWatt panels that last panels under self-clean glass. And generally speaking, with the Irish weather, they self-clean, they clean themselves. That's not to say that if you're in a dusty environment, or for a particular reason, that over time you mightn't have to wash the panels every 5 or 6 years. Also with the inverters, we've majored on European warranted technology as well. Fronius, a world-renowned manufacturing business in lots of areas, but particularly in inverters. And the reason that we focused on that is that if you have a problem with an inverter, or you have a problem with a panel or the system, well, then we have a problem. If we have a problem, we want to be able to talk to a company that basically can address that problem professionally and effectively. And that's why we focus very much on European warranted technology.
And then is there any time that you might maybe position them on land, or is that, do you just think that the roof space is the way forward?
No, if you have roof space, it's definitely...
It's not everyone will have roof space.
Because in a lot of places they don't have suitable roof space. Indeed, there's a neighbour of yours down the road,
That's true.
Ballymagarvey, where they didn't have suitable roof space and they've put in a ground-mounted system that's generating a lot of their own electricity. So if you have roofs, it's the cheapest way to install solar PV. However, if you haven't roofs, it can be installed on ground, but it's more expensive because you have to put frames up and then you have to cabling back to the main fuse boards and all the rest of it.
We talked about the cost benefits of having the solar. What actually then is the cost, Pat? Has it reduced in price? Solar has it?
Yeah, I think, Paul, that the general view is that over the last 10 years, solar PV dropped by nearly 90% in costs. However, last year took a particular spike because of demand across the world. But thankfully, in the last number of months, component prices have started to drop again. So let's say you put this installation in a couple of years ago. If we were doing that today, the cost would probably be about 10% less.
Yeah.
But also, the SAEI have introduced a dedicated grant for commercial installations in the last 6 months, which is going to be a help as well. So the paybacks with the grant and with the reduced cost, the paybacks are very attractive, even in the fact that energy costs have dropped. And businesses like your own can expect a 3 to 4 year payback for an investment like what you've done previously.
Yeah, well, look, it does seem like probably a no-brainer in ways, just to install them. I know you have to fund it and you have to do all that, but I mean, the money is there. The payback is there.
And the unique thing, on a farm you buy a tractor and it's an investment on the farm, and you have to find the wherewithal to pay for it, and hopefully with the work it does, it pays for itself. Yeah. With the solar PV, you can actually set the savings against the repayments, so that from a cash flow perspective it doesn't impact negatively on the business on a year-to-year basis. Yeah. And I think that's a big positive as well.
Very good. Well, look, all we need here is loads of sunshine, isn't it? Just to keep these things rocking along. Keep the inverters. They're running here at 1,681 watts. They should probably, when they're in full swing, this is the middle of
January at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Paul. So I think we've seen the best of the day, and certainly from a farmer's perspective, I hope we get a bit of dry weather.
Yeah, well, we all could do with that anyway. That's one thing for sure.
That's I've never seen ground as wet.
No. Paul. Well, listen, I'd like to thank Pat from Local Power. And if you want to get in touch with Pat, there's no problem. You can we put a link below or even comment there, and we'll put a link below on the channel there as well. So, look, thanks very much,
Paul. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So thanks for Pat for running through Local Power and the solar panels. So yeah, if you want to get in touch with maybe getting a few solar panels on the farm, applying for a few grants and seeing what way it works, get on to Pat there at Local Power. So that's all for Finnegans Farm this week. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you all next week. Good luck.